We're live on video, just in case.
Good signs of things to come.
Okay, we've got to put that on here. Welcome to Shut Up and Answer the Question, the podcast where we take way too long to answer the question. I'm Ethan Lawrence.
And I'm Sean Antony.
Yeah, it's episode 1, if we end up using this as episode 1.
It most probably will be used as episode 1. You don't want it to get good and then just go, what the fuck happened there?
I think the issue perhaps is that I've now locked us into it. This is now
whether we like it or not.
Episode 1. We have to put it out now, because if I'm not doing this again.
After it took that many goes. It's number two.
This is take 2. Yeah. Take 2 of podcast. And I should say as well, when I say take 2 of podcast, we didn't get like a significant way in. I just screwed up the first sentence of the podcast.
Imagine that, just getting halfway through an episode and just go, it didn't work.
Do you know what? I've lost confidence in the idea, in the concept.
Yep, scrap it. We're starting from nothing.
So, speaking of starting from nothing, we should explain a little bit about what this is and what we're trying to do here.
Yes.
So, as I say, this is Shut Up and Answer the Question. We take questions from you at home, and then we take way too long to answer them. To introduce myself, I am Ethan Lawrence. I am an actor, star of Bad Education, Afterlife, Boat Story, Horrible Histories, etc., etc., etc. The list is not as long as I'd like, considering I've been at this for nearly 15 years. And my co-host is...
I'm Sean Antony, full-time voiceover, part-time pillock, really. I've voiced characters for video games and, animations and all sorts of fun stuff. Nothing, I wish my accolades were as plenty as yours, really.
Well, this is why we're doing the podcast, because we both consider ourselves failures.
And what funny failures? Failures of funny.
What does one do when one is a creative and has run out of ideas? Start a podcast.
It's like the 2020 version of like, dude, we should open a bar.
Well, it's like the 2020 version of, dude, we should start a podcast.
This idea has started, like, it has been around since lockdown, man. So.
I'm just again, I don't want to say that I'm losing confidence in the idea, but it has just occurred to me that we have very much missed the boat when it comes to starting a podcast.
Oh yeah, with most things, really. It's just
yeah. God, this is a shame. Tell you what, shall I do the pod admin? And then hopefully that'll bring back some spark.
Oh man, shut up and answer the question. We've not even started the thing yet.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. If you want to send us questions, you can send them to shutuppod@yahoo.com, exactly how it's spelled, SHUTUPPOD @yahoo.com. You can follow us on Instagram at shutuplandanswerpod and on TikTok at shutuppod. We did make one for X, the Everything app. But it's all Nazis there, isn't it? So.
Oh yes, yeah.
And you can gain no traction on there. So
there's not much going on there.
Hey,
I know you got to try and make a joke, otherwise, God,
this country.
Well, this country and that country.
Keir Starmer's bloody Britain with Musk running X, the Everything app.
Musk is running the world.
Yeah, he's the president now. World? Musk.
Oh God! Don't sue us, Beyonce.
Beyonce, please.
We have nothing.
We are so poor. It wouddn't be worth your time. Oh, that's producer Milo.
Yep.
Producer Milo is a dog.
Milo, do you want to come up?
Did you accidentally kick producer Milo in the face?
I did. Yeah. It's producer Milo. There we go, buddy.
Yeah, okay. Obviously, he's lower than the camera, so you're not going to be able to.
Right, come on. You got it. No. All right, get down there.
Well, he's busy producing, so I wouldn't.
Yeah.
He's on the ones and twos.
Yes. Well, he's on the all fours. God, that sounded so wrong, man.
I think it's fine. He's just doing it doggy style. Arf. Arf. Woof.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So I should probably ask you a question, shouldn't I?
Yes.
That's the concept of the
I'm
show.
normally the one that goes off on tangents, and if both of us are, God help us.
This is, I mean, we will trim this intro down.
Yeah, maybe.
Producer Milo will trim this.
Just choose on the mouse.
Wherever he cuts gets cut. That's just how it is. And then we just put out whatever's there. Right, okay. Well, I have a question for you, Sean.
Aye.
I have a question for you, Sean Antony, VO.
Yes.
On Instagram. And it is simply this. This question comes from Amy Louise Hart, a good friend of ours.
Oh, yes.
And she wants to know, when does breakfast become brunch? Brunch become lunch? Lunch become dinner?
Okay. In what terms, though?
What do you mean?
What? Like,
Explain yourself. That is a simple question.
No, well, because you've got. I mean, breakfast is just that. Is when you break your fast. And yeah, you break your.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And then after that, breakfast is between breakfast and lunch, but then it depends what time. Is it literally what time or what order it goes in? Because there was the old version of actually having, I don't know what it was, like 6 meals in a day, which I think was breakfast,
so it's like
brunch,
11s,
lunch.
Is that supper? Is that one supper?
Supper, tea, dinner.
Are tea and dinner different, or is that like a regional thing?
I don't know. I think dinner is actually like dinner, and then tea is just sort of like you'd have, I don't know, like a tea and a biscuit or a tea and cake.
So that's like, that would be early afternoon.
I think that, yeah, but then it's sort of just, it's moulded together to becoming, I don't know, these three things that like, where it's like everyone's just gone, you know what, let's just have a meal then, and then.
We live in a very fast-paced world. Like, you know, these days in the 21st century, we haven't got time for 6 meals.
No.
Like, because like,
barely have time for 3, man.
The boss man wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that. The productivity would plummet.
But there's enough time for smoke breaks.
Of course there is. But actually, I don't even know if is that even still a thing?
That's probably the wrong question for people who are both self-employed.
Yeah. I take loads of breaks.
And I take none.
Basically, my whole day's a break sometimes.
My whole day's a mental break. Does that count?
I'm having a mental breakdown. Right, okay. Well, you know what? We need to get to brass tacks on this, I think, because I didn't think this was complicated, personally.
See, I should have worn my "Let me overthink this" t-shirt.
So what we need to do is get down to brass tacks. Okay, that's a phrase.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of many.
Why do we always get down to brass tacks?
Why is it always brass tacks?
Yeah.
Is it
iron tacks?
Iron tacks? Probably because brass is the cheaper one.
Are they talking about like thumbtacks? Like, you know, the little...
maybe. I think it was probably when they made like furniture and stuff, and then they actually used the brass tacks
to get down to brass tacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're getting down to like to the finishing the.
This is the fundamentals.
Yeah.
The fundamentals. That's what it's all about. Okay, right. Are you a breakfast man, Sean?
I have to have breakfast. Look, I have to have my food at set times or set points of the day, because otherwise I completely forget. So it will get to about 2:00 in the afternoon. I'll be like, oh yeah, I didn't eat.
I suppose...
Why am I so angry?
I'm furious. I'm punching the wall. Why?
Oh yes, I need my Snickers.
Yes, you're not yourself. Famously. I suppose also you have children, don't you? You have 2 children, which helps structure a day in a way, so to say.
You may say.
Well, you got to feed them before they go to school, otherwise they won't be able to concentrate. That's what they say. The breakfast is the most important meal.
That's the best thing about it, is that they go, Daddy, I'm hungry. Can I have some breakfast? I go, yeah, fine. And then I go, better make some myself as well.
So you're a breakfast man.
Yep.
You're a man who likes a breakfast.
Yes. How about yourself?
I'm not a breakfast man. I'm rarely awake at a time where a breakfast would be necessary.
So therefore, your lunch would be your breakfast.
But
Because you would still be breaking your fast.
More of a brunch. It's more of a brunch. Okay, I'm not lying in
It was
until
like omelette on toast
3 in the
Mai
afternoon.
Tai.
Exactly that kind of
In
every
bed.
time I'm there with my mimosa, being like, okay, well, I think I'm ready to face Tuesday now. No, so I'm not a big breakfast guy. I mean, here we go. When I'm on set, because obviously you start the day earlier on set, so I will have a breakfast then. I would have a fruit, a slow release energy sugar hit combo. Generally, I will have a couple of oranges and a banana, which if you put in a certain way, looks like genitals. Sean.
I mean, come on. I mean, who hasn't done that?
Well, quite often, if I've got a cheeky production runner, they will arrange it into the shape of a cock and balls for me.
And famously, I think it's Kate Beckinsale does that when she's on set as well.
Yeah, I've heard that about Kate Beckinsale. We're starting rumours on the podcast.
No, she's actually done it in interviews. She's
Really?
Yeah. She's like, that's one of my things that I find funny to do. It's just
Brilliant. I thought you were... No. I thought you were just starting an unsubstantiated rumour about...
Is she like? It was one that came up recently. It was just sort of like on my shorts, and it was an interview
on your
with
shorts?
her. Yeah,
You need to stop watching your shorts. Then.
but yeah, she just all those pranks and stuff. I was like, actually, that's awesome. Just like all the stars and that, they're like, oh yeah, super professional, and do this, do that, and like having someone to actually just come up and go, no man, it's all about pranks.
Well, we're sort of the older generation of actresses who came up through like repertory theatre. I'm talking about your Judi Denchs. I'm talking about your Helen Mirrens. I'm talking about your Maggie Smiths. I hear...
May she rest in peace.
May she rest... God rest her. I hear they all swear like sailors.
Amazing.
And like, you know, because why not? They've earned their dues.
Yeah.
They don't need to anymore. They don't need to care. That being said, when we become millionaires from this podcast... I'm gonna
let them know now. It's said in like episode 1.
Episode 1, the goal is millionaire. Potentially billionaire, who knows?
Elon, if you wouldn't mind.
Elon, please.
By that time, if you've not got all of the world's wealth.
I mean, distribute some of it to your friendly neighbourhood podcast. We love you, really. I'm going to buy you a pair of shorts with Kate Beckinsale on them.
Please do.
So then you can say, I watch Kate Beckinsale on my shorts. Purely for that reason.
Maybe we should just do that for merch.
That's it, we've already landed on merch. Kate Beckinsale short. Okay, also, Kate Beckinsale, please don't sue.
Just have some shorts with 2 oranges and a banana.
And Kate Beckinsale. The oranges and the banana on one leg, Kate Beckinsale on the other. And this is the most I've talked about Kate Beckinsale, I think, ever.
Yeah, you go in.
Up to and including the time where I watched Van Helsing 3 times in a row.
That was a film.
Yeah, really weirdly unbalanced film, but I actually quite like it.
Yeah, I remember watching it and enjoying it at the time, but then like thinking back, it's like, well, what were the main points of that film? You're like... werewolves.
I think my favourite part about that film is when it ends and then keeps going for 45 minutes. Like, it comes to an absolute conclusion with the vampire brood destroyed, and then they're like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot, he's in a haunted mirror as well. Oh right, okay. Weird that you're only bringing up the haunted mirror now.
That was of that age where there were just, it felt like there were films being made just to show off more CG. And
yeah. I mean,
even at the time you were watching it going, and now looking back, you're thinking some of it's pretty good still, but then others you're just thinking, PlayStation 2 was probably level with you, my dude.
You know that the vampire brides from that film.
Oh, that was
they still look good. Like that's actually really good CG.
Actually, that was one that was brought up on another YouTube channel that I watch, Corridor Crew. Shout out
to Corridor Crew. Please don't sue us.
But yeah, it's like
they can go on the bum of the shots.
But like special effects artists react, and like they were actually giving the brides a shout out as well, like how it still holds up quite well.
They look kind of leathery, don't they? They're quite good.
And yeah, it was just the way that they, the way that they moved, and even the moving through the scene was still really well done in comparison to other films at the time.
Because
So.
they had like a POV at one point where like, it's just like a clawed hands like
Yes!
going to grab a. It's a good shot.
It's like it's GoPro style.
It's before GoPro even. It's just
the guy who created GoPro is just like,
you know what gave me the idea? Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing. There are a lot of Australians in that film. You got Hugh Jackman in the lead. You got David Wenham as the little monk man. Richard Roxburgh is Dracul. Like
hell,
a lot of Australians in that film.
probably was filmed.
Oh, hello.
You're right. There's producer Milo
Producer Milo has decided to join us on the
couch.
on the couch. Is that what we're calling it? The couch. That's tiresome.
What else do we call it? I suppose we're English. We call it the settee.
The settee. The settee, the sofa. I mean, quite often, like, with new podcasts, they got, like, a studio or something, and, like, we've got a blank wall and a sofa.
Well, yeah, when we recorded the promo for it, I put my daughter's bloody
It's just there.
rug in the background just for something.
The rug is there now. It's just out of frame, I think.
Yep.
What was I saying? Right, yeah, breakfast. So...
Whoa, that one went way off track. Yeah.
Breakfast, right? So I'm not a big breakfast guy. You are a breakfast guy. What's your go-to for breakfast?
Oh, it tends to change, but nearly always it's something with peanut butter.
Okay.
And yeah. So there is, normal peanut butter, or Australians put me onto peanut butter and Marmite on toast, which is damn
Gross.
tasty.
What?
Damn tasty. But yeah, are you a Marmite man?
No.
There we go.
No, actually, I hate to be that guy. I hate to be like, the guy who needs to be different, but I'm actually just sort of indifferent to Marmite.
Wow.
I don't have any strong feelings either way. So the advertising doesn't work on me. I've seen through the Matrix.
There you go. Yeah, Marmite's just Ethan Lawrence.
Marmite, I'm not a big fan, but I don't hate it. I can put it in a sauce.
It is proper nice in the sauce.
You
Shepherd's pie.
You said normal peanut butter. Is that crunchy or smooth?
Crunchy.
Okay,
Come on, man.
Don't look at me like that. You said
I didn't mean
there are two basic forms of peanut butter, and you said normal, which is not either of them.
Yeah.
I just wanted clarification. You looked at me like I had just kicked you in the nut.
Although, yeah, there is, because now it's 100% peanuts. Because you go back to the old stuff that you had when you were a kid, and you just sort of, that stuff is saltier than the sea. And it tastes like the Reese's. Again, Reese's, yeah, like...
Please don't sue us.
I love Reese's Pieces, but it's that kind of peanut butter. You're like, yeah, you could do better if you actually sort of used, real peanuts. But...
Is that because it's American?
Maybe it might be, and it's
they
the
make all
chocolate
that
as
stuff
well.
out of stuff. American.
Everything
chocolate.
is just flavored.
Oh God,
flavored.
Yeah. I did a thing. It was a Cheap Show podcast. Shout out Cheap Show, and we did like a Christmas special, and they had the chocolate coins.
Yeah,
but it wasn't until I had one, and it was vile, like really vile, so bad, like the cheapest you could put. It was only then that I looked at the label and it said chocolate flavored coins.
Yeah, because it's there has to be a specific amount of cocoa and I think it's cocoa and not cocoa fats,
right?
That then make it up so it can be called chocolate. Otherwise, it is chocolate flavored.
I don't like that.
Nope.
That feels tricksy.
Yeah, well, I think that's why white chocolate, I don't think is classed as chocolate because it doesn't have the level of cocoa in it.
Well, they call it chocolate, Sean.
I know it. Look, I can't remember the whole rules for it just off the top of my head, but yeah, there's the specific, but that might even be the European rules, and then in America they just go, it's got to be brown.
It's got to be brown. It's just got to be brown. As long as it's a brown slab. Why do Americans sound like that?
I don't know.
Hello.
I'm sorry, man. It just has to be some sort of brown.
I'm from Alabama. Yo. Right, so we've covered breakfast.
Oh,
now we slam into brunch.
But what even what even is brunch like that makes it so separate from
think
lunch and breakfast?
I think that the meaning of brunch has changed. I think before it was sort of like when we were growing up, it was like a late breakfast, right? That's sort of basically what it was. But brunch is like a different thing now. It's like an event.
Yeah.
Like you go out for brunch, don't you? And it conjures images of smashed avo.
Yeah.
And like, some kind of bagel. And as we mentioned earlier, a mimosa. Like it's basically an opportunity.
Bottomless Prosecco.
It's an opportunity to get pissed in the morning.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And look, I'm not trying to cast aspersions or speak for a wide group of people, but it does tend to be women. But look, this is the pod now. This is a misogynpod.
Misogynpod.
But it does sort of, because that's the image it conjures. It conjures for me.
Couples.
Or couple. Yeah, I guess. No, that's right. But that features women. Also, women can be couples, Sean.
Yeah, women can be couples. Men can be couples.
I may be a misogynist, but at least I'm not a homophobe. Can I say homophobe? Like homophobe. Homophobe.
Wait, isn't that something that sounds like something else?
That's a homophone. No, it sounds like the same. Because homo, as opposed to heterophone, which would be two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah. Well, obviously, with the kids, I'm going over, like, there are, like, homophones and stuff like that. But, yeah, what would be, in English, a heterophone, then? Something that sounds like nothing else.
It would literally just be two words that aren't the same. Like the and same.
There we go.
They're heterophones.
Not nearly as interesting.
No, that's just what words are.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a dictionary is a list of heterophones.
Anyway, back to fucking food.
Right, okay, that's. I suppose you could say, shut up and answer the question. Well, we're getting to it, Amy.
You could hear her just screaming through her phone.
She is not listening to this. She's not going to support our own artistic endeavours.
Yeah.
I hate her.
Yeah, we go. You put that in, and if you do get a text going, why'd you say that?
Yeah, I go, this is a test, Amy. If you listen, come and have a go.
Come and answer a question.
Why am I threatening potential?
I don't know.
I feel like, this is not... Yeah, okay, brunch. So...
Get back out of this one.
So, brunch... Okay, I think the only way we're going to be able to work out brunch is by defining lunch.
Yes.
Because we've defined breakfast, which is where you break your fast. When does lunch begin? Because I think brunch has to end when lunch starts. Now, like instinctively, I'm thinking to myself, that'll be like midday, noon.
Yeah, well, as like McDonald's and all those are like, they end their breakfast
10:30.
10:30. Bloody hell.
Or maybe it's later now.
Back in my day, I've not been to a McDonald's in a while.
Back in my day, it used to be 10:30. It's probably a bit later now. There's probably some McDonald's where you could just get just breakfast.
It's an all-day breakfast.
All-day breakfast. You want to make muffin? Don't sue us, please, McDonald's. Oh God,
we should just call this the Don't Sue Us podcast.
Well, we have to change all the branding.
Shut up and don't sue us, please.
The podcast. That's just what we put on at the end. Okay, so lunch. Instinctively, it's noon, but it's not, is it? It's 1.
It's noon to 1. I mean, I normally at 12 I make my lunch because, as I said, otherwise I will forget to eat. So, but
I'll be having breakfast around this.
But that's because then what, like at the weekend or something, if you have a late breakfast, get up about 9:30, and then you're having breakfast about 10. 12 is going to be way too early for a lunch, and then you can even forget about brunch then. But,
yeah, I mean, I feel like if I'm having my lunch at 2, that's going to ruin dinner. So I think you're right. I think we're landing noon to 1.
Yeah.
So therefore, Amy, brunch ends at noon.
Brunch, I'd say brunch safely ends at noon. So therefore, maybe breakfast is maybe from about 6. Or what about like the people who work nights or work antisocial hours? Then what would be their breakfast? Because then their breakfast might end up being 7:00 in the evening, and then
I can't believe at this late juncture you've introduced night workers, because this is going to throw everything off.
This is.
Well, tell you what, why don't we just move them 12 hours into the future and it's the same? Breakfast is at 6, and noon is midnight.
You could do it as an hourly segments. So when you wake up to, I don't know, 4 hours after you wake up is breakfast. And then that's just making it way too complicated. Right?
I've been saying this. How are we going to get to the bottom of this? This is the problem, right? This is always going to be the issue with the podcast, which is that if we can't agree on basic terms, on basic heterophones, then we're never going to get to the core of the issue. I think we deal with it in the day, and if you're a night worker, fuck off, all right?
Please don't.
Don't listen to this.
You're probably the kind of person who'd listen.
Don't listen to this. No. If you
I mean, you have to get up for work sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning to get to set for.
Yeah, but that's
then
different.
what is your breakfast then?
It's an orange banana. So I don't change it.
Yeah, it's still an orange and a banana, but when?
When I get there. I grab it because I don't care enough about breakfast. I'm not particular about it. I'm not like, oh, it is breakfast. No, I don't care. So I'll just have it when I need to have it. And actually, I'm going to rescind what I said earlier. If you're a night worker, you can listen to the podcast if you want.
That had such the energy of no girls allowed in my fort.
Look, it's fine. Look, my cousin, he worked security at a factory for a long time nights, and I imagine a podcast would be very useful.
There we go.
I don't think he listened to podcasts, though. I think he played his Game Boy Advance.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That would have been around the time, I think. I mean, you probably use a Steam Deck now.
Yeah. Oh, man, that would be awesome doing that now.
Yeah.
You could actually have
on a factory.
Yeah. God damn.
You're just playing God of War Ragnarok while the thieves are slowly clearing the place out.
It's like, how did you know they robbed you? They took my Steam Deck.
I just yanked it out of my hands.
Ran.
And took all the stock as well. I guess there'll be no Kentucky Fried Chicken in Northants.
It's lockdown again, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah.
God, we all went mental in lockdown, didn't we? Let's not talk about that.
That's another thing, yeah. KFC don't do breakfasts. Which would be... Because I think chicken would be a good breakfast meat, I suppose, because you've got eggs anyway.
Well, they do in the States. They like their chicken and waffles, don't they? Like they combine chicken with breakfast items. Have you ever had a maple syrup on a chicken?
I have, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Very nice, yeah.
It's nice. Works.
It's the sweet and salty. It's like the whole thing with like the pineapple and ham.
Right, okay. Do we want to open this can of worms?
Or is this for another day?
No, this is not for another day, but if you want to open it... Right, listen up, folks at home. Right, this is important, all right? If you get angry about ham and pineapple on pizza, right, grow up. Grow up. It is so played out at this point.
I think it is. It's like hating Nickelback and Coldplay.
Yeah,
just that kind of.
It's like, you know what?
At least people who hate Coldplay have a point.
Well, I don't know about that. They're a good live band. They're a good live band. But like, it's
don't
just...
sue us, Coldplay. It was a joke.
Or Nickelback. I just think it is so played out at this point. Like you don't actually think that.
No,
like you don't actually care about it all that much, and especially because Coldplay is a good example actually of a comparison onto this, which is like they sell ham and pineapple pizzas like everywhere, right? Do you know why? It's because it sells. Like they're not gonna bring in stock for something that they never actually sell. Coldplay,
okay, one that goes in that same vein then I think it's Malaysia. I might be wrong, but they have tuna and banana pizza. Now that is a controversial topping. Look, or would it be banana or plantain then?
I guess, I don't know. Anyone in Malaysia, please get in contact with the pod. Shut up, pod at yahoo.com to tell us. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because Coldplay sell out stadiums. Like, it's clearly popular. I just think, in today's age of individuality and iconoclasm, I just feel like a lot of people think hating a popular thing is the same thing as having a personality, and it isn't.
Mm.
It is. So,
if anything, it takes that personality back a bit.
Yeah.
Because you're not letting yourself enjoy something that you could potentially enjoy.
Look, I don't mind if you don't like it. That's different. Like, it's hating it on principle that annoys me.
No,
because it's like, if you don't like it, that's fine. A lot of people don't like pineapple. Some people get like sort of an allergic reaction to it. I know people who, when they have pineapple, they get tingly lips.
No, well, it's because pineapple has an enzyme in it which tenderizes meat. It does it does actually start digesting the meat. Yeah, so it's.
Oh no, we're being eaten by pineapple.
That's why you got I've done it many a time. Like you get about 3/4 of a way through a pineapple and you go
a whole pineapple. You're sitting down and eating a whole pineapple.
Shut up. It's good, man. I'm not even fighting that.
I've just got images of you waking up at 6 a.m. and preparing your whole pineapple for breakfast. And some Frosties.
Maybe.
No, that's too much sugar.
Pineapple with milk.
Pineapple and milk, maybe. It'll probably digest the milk.
That will curdle it.
Ugh. Lunch. So we're at lunch now. It's 2:00 now. So we're now staring down the barrel of dinner or tea. Or
so I'd say dinner probably starts at about 4.
That feels early.
But I think it's because I've got kids. So therefore,
oh, you've got kids, have you?
Yeah. You're the one that brought it up. That was the first thing. That was the first descriptor of me. This is Sean Antony, fucking being a voiceover artist. He's a father.
He's a father of young girls. What, Producer Milo? Are we being too loud? We're peaking. Producer Milo says we're peaking.
Soften it, guys. Soften it. Take the game down.
Get that room tone. Oh, nearly split take. Nearly split take for Sean. That's good. 4 seems early. I like you having dinner at 4, or you're starting to make dinner?
I'm starting to make it. So,
okay, because there are
normally,
some
even on a normal day, it will take me about 45 minutes to an hour to make dinner.
Right.
Because I enjoy cooking. I like the process of cooking. I find it calming. And so, therefore, I prefer to make dinner, make a meal instead of just throw something on the table. So, it would then be, from about 5:30.
Yeah.
So 5:30, 6-ish. But then I normally, because we've then got clubs and stuff to go to after that, that's when that's the sweet spot of getting them fed. And then, me and Carrie will then eat maybe about 7.
Carrie's Sean's wife.
Yes.
Shout out to Carrie. Please don't sue us.
What are you doing in my house?
She's going to take you for all your beans.
Oh, she's going to take me for half of you, Milo.
His ears went up with that.
Yeah.
I think it's just because he heard his name. He doesn't know what's going on.
I know, bud. I know.
Oh, poor Milo. He's bored of producing this already.
Yeah, there we go.
Keep that in the pod. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so I live with someone who, works quasi-normal hours. So, they finish at 5:30. So generally dinner will start at 6 for me. Yeah. Because that's, because we like to eat together. So that makes more sense. So that's quite a wide area. So we're looking at 4 through 7.
4 through, it's about the same then, wouldn't it? That's 3 hours.
So I think lunch doesn't crash into dinner. I think that we've bunched a lot of stuff early in the day where it actually does crash into each other. Like breakfast does become brunch does become lunch, but then you got a gap. The afternoon, the long wasteland.
I think it's probably because breakfast and brunch, you can have one or the other. You rarely have both.
Yeah.
And then, so if you have breakfast, you'll probably have lunch. But if you have brunch, you're probably going to skip lunch and then just go straight to dinner at an earlier place.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
So it becomes like a Venn diagram.
So I mentioned this earlier on the pod, and I think we do need to get to the bottom of this. I think it's a regional thing where it's different. There's a difference between dinner and tea.
Okay.
I think Northerners have tea.
That makes sense.
And Southerners have dinner because we're posh.
Oh, no, what? And then who has supper?
Really posh. I don't think supper's regional. I think that's the aristocracy. That's what we're going to be when we become millionaires from the pod. Please don't mention that man. I have a Substack and I have talked about him at length.
I know.
I don't want to talk about. It's a Jacob Rees mug, by the way. Please don't sue us. No, I think everything I've said about him's fine. I did.
It's all in your opinion.
I did my due diligence also. Like, you know, when I was talking about his business interests, I made sure it was all kosher, short for kosher. So that's good. Let's move on from this.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to think of a segue to like, right, dinner?
That was a dead end.
Yeah.
We hit.
So it'd be dinner / tea then?
Yeah, dinner / tea. I mean, that's not what Amy asked, but we're doing it anyway. And supper, supper comes after that, I feel. That's like a broth that you have at 9. Yeah,
maybe, supper or like afters or like pre-bed snack.
Because sup is to drink, isn't it? You sup.
Oh yeah,
so perhaps a brandy or with a crudité.
So yeah, something like cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers and perhaps a little glass of port. Yes, I can't have so much port these days since the gout. Yes,
that's probably why so many had gout.
Yes, so many of us had hammer toes because of the vast quantities of port.
You're going down with the hammer toes. I've got hammer finger at the moment.
Please stop swearing at the camera.
I can't help it. I can't move the thing.
I like this guy. I'm gonna be him for the rest of the pod. Yes, so we have our cheese and our crackers, and of course
pate.
Pate de foie gras.
What is it about posh food that is sort of? It is essentially like the garbage parts of the animal.
Of course.
It used to be the point. Like lobster used to be like a poor food, and then it sort of became like this posh sort of.
You know what I think it is?
What's that?
I think it's to do with effort. The reason why it was for the poor folk back in the day was because of lobster. There's a lot of process there. You've got to take off the claws and hammer the shell.
And they just literally want their food poured into their mouth.
Basically, if I could have my lobster as purely a bisque.
Yeah. Oh, imagine just chucking a lobster into a blender.
Oh, shells and all. Oh. No, but you do bring up an interesting point with that, which is that, especially nowadays, like, there's a push in, like, high-end cuisine to be using offal, to be using less known cuts of the animal. Like, one of the big things at the minute is using the meat of old dairy cows.
Yes, I've seen that.
Because before I'm going to use a horrible phrase to describe a dead cow here. They'd just go to waste, wouldn't they? Yeah. they just go to waste. But like the meat apparently is good because it's lived.
What's it called? Like you've got lamb and then mutton. That one's another one that's.
There's something in between as well as a hogget or something.
Oh, I didn't even know that one.
Yeah, it goes lamb, hogget, and mutton, I think.
That one just definitely sounds like it was named in somewhere like Scotland.
Lamb! It was this
hogget, lamb, hogget,
and mutton, yeah. But that's probably also a posh person, I suspect. A landed gentry in Scotland.
Lamb, hogget, and mutton.
It's me again, yeah. Herbert Budlemshire. Budlemshire. Herbert Budlemshire. And let me tell you.
Named as he fell down the stairs.
I'm one of those fathers that complains about inheritance tax, despite the fact that they pay a lower rate than everyone else. But I've got to be in my bonnet about it, so let me tell you about Hogget. Hogget.
Hog Mahone.
Mutton. And I keep pigs. Mangalitsa pig. Have you ever seen a Mangalitsa pig?
What are those ones?
The hairy ones, like furry ones, that they got like wool.
Yeah. Oh, yes, yeah. Although I always thought that pigs, if they escaped, they do like immediately start growing hair like they would.
Yeah, I think these ones are just specific in the sense that it's almost like wool, as opposed to like just normal hair.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I've seen a few like quite like the boar like kind of with the coarse hair, but I've never seen one.
Boar.
This is the whole podcast. It's weird. Answering the question, like, just shut up and answer the question.
That's why we called it that.
Speaking of which,
that's why we called it that.
Yeah.
So have we answered the question, would you say?
Sufficiently, I suppose.
I mean, have a look at how long we've been recording, and I'll decide if we've answered the question or not.
40 minutes.
Okay, so we're all right. We've done it.
Probably, yeah. We should be getting on to wrapping up.
Right. Okay. So
I think we've essentially put it down to about 3 to 4 hours between each section.
So breakfast begins when you wake up, and continues until it becomes brunch, which is at about 11.
Yep.
So that's you broken your fast, and I all my breakfasts are brunch. So that's when I wake up. Lunch begins at noon. Well, I guess it's just an hour for brunch. That feels actually kind of...
Yeah, but as we said, brunch, you wouldn't then have lunch.
Yes, this is true. Okay, so brunch starts at 11 and ends at indefinite. Lunch begins at midday and continues through to maybe 2.
Yeah.
And that's the cut-off. Then there's a gap during which you have tea and biscuits.
Yeah.
And then, finally... long last.
Oh, I was fighting the urge to ask another question then.
No, don't. We've got to wrap this up. Dinner begins at 4 and then continues through until whenever.
About 7.
At which point you then have supper and then a midnight snack.
Yep.
So I hope that answered your question, Amy.
Through all that tedium, we managed to get to an answer, so that was good.
We cannot guarantee that we will always get to an answer.
As quickly as we have now.
We need a visual timer because we can't let this happen again.
I think I need to go and find the timer.
I mean, this was instinct. This was my instinct that I think we're about to hit the time. And as you know from the script that I wrote for the promo that we did, I'm quite good at timing.
Yeah.
But I can't rely on that because I might get too deep in the weeds.
Yeah, it is well, especially with you got the distraction boy, and then you're just leaning into it, and then also trying to keep that time.
Yes, Herbert is out of control.
You're trying to wrangle the cats whilst also being a cat.
Yeah, So.
God damn it! The amount of spit takes I've nearly taken.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for listening to Shut Up and Answer the Question, episode 1/2.
3 more episodes.
/2/3, depending on what we get. Yeah, I can't. Oh, we have to commit.
It has to be number 1.
This is episode 1 now.
Yep.
If you like it, then good for you.
Please subscribe. we need someone to actually just give us the dopamine numbers.
Oh yeah, we have to do the spiel at the end. Oh, I wasn't looking forward to this.
Oh no! Well, please, if you've got a question that you'd like us to try and answer, then please send your email to shutuppod@yahoo.com. That is shutuppod@yahoo.com.
You can find us on Instagram at shutuppandanswerpod and on TikTok at shutuppod. And as Sean says, like, rate and review on your podcast platform of choice, because it is my understanding that it does actually genuinely make a difference. And you know what? Even if you didn't like it, just give it 5 stars. It takes no effort. All you have to do is just press that, and then you never have to listen to it again. All you'd be
Consider that the payment that you have to pay to never hear from us again.
It's free! The podcast is free! The least you could do is just press 5 stars, because that way we can make more. And maybe you don't want that. You don't have to listen to it. There are so many podcasts out there. I don't get this fucking mentality of people who listen to a pod and go, oh, I won't bother giving that fuck. Just do it.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Is it? Yeah, I think you've scared Milo, the producer.
Yeah. Do you know, I actually regret that. Look, if you like it, give it 5 stars on your podcast platform of choice. And if you didn't like it, just don't bother. You probably won't anyway, right? That's fine. Yeah. I've made myself sad.
But thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time. Thank you for listening to Shut Up and Answer the Question. I am Sean Antony, at Sean Antony VO everywhere, and my co-host is Ethan Lawrence, Ethan D. Lawrence everywhere. If you want to follow the pod, on Instagram we are on Shut Up and Answer Pod, and on TikTok we are Shut Up Pod. If you've got a question that you'd like us to answer, send it to shutuppod@yahoo.com. That is SHUTUPPOD@yahoo.com. The music was by Eyes on Lakes and the artwork was by Kitsune Kei. Thank you very much, Podbean, for hosting our podcast. And we will see you next time.